Gaza may have largely disappeared from international headlines since the so-called ceasefire took effect last October. On the ground, however, the killing has continued, and so has the danger facing journalists. More than 260 media workers have been killed in Israel's campaign in Gaza, nearly a fifth of the territory's press corps. Those who remain work under the constant threat of danger to themselves and their families. Others face detention without charge or trial. Former detainees have described beatings, starvation, sexual abuse, and torture in jail. May was the deadliest month in Gaza this year. June is already on track to surpass it. And as much of the world looks elsewhere, at Iran, at Lebanon, at a ceasefire that exists in name only, Gaza's remaining journalists continue documenting the destruction, recording stories of survival and displacement. Sharif Abdel Kouddous is a journalist and editor at Dropsite News. He works closely with reporters still on the ground in Gaza. Sharif, thank you very much for making the time. As I said, you are working closely with Palestinian journalists in Gaza. You're commissioning reporting from them. Can you give us a sense of the state of journalism there today? How difficult is it for reporters who remain to continue documenting this genocide, which is ongoing?
So the sheer number of journalists killed, 1/5 of the press corps, has severely affected how much coverage is coming out of Gaza. The number killed is almost beyond comprehension. And that's not counting the vast number of journalists who have been wounded or those who have been forced to leave Gaza and who are no longer on the ground. One of the more tragic stories that captures the scale of this came through Dr. Hossein Abu Safia. He's the director of the Kamal Adwan Hospital in northern Gaza. He was detained by Israeli forces, and there's a very famous picture of him as he's walking over the rubble towards an Israeli tank. And he was later arrested, and he's been in prison ever since. He recently sent a message asking his son to urge the prominent journalist Anas Sharif to speak about the suffering of Palestinian prisoners. Dr. Hossein Abu Safia had no idea that Anas Sharif was assassinated nearly a year ago in an Israeli airstrike on a media tent in Gaza City on August 10th. That killed him and 5 other journalists. Israel murdered the entire Al Jazeera team in Gaza City as it was planning a full-scale invasion to take control of Gaza City, the largest city in Palestine. Such is the horror of what Israel has wrought against journalists in Gaza. So the so-called ceasefire that went into effect in October is a ceasefire in name only. The scorched earth bombing may have stopped or slowed, but the genocide continues and the killing of journalists continues.